I was really hoping for a positive, happy Friday edition of the Morning Wager, fresh off the first ever soccer win in the history of this program. What a nice start to the day that was. We're going to be giving you insight on all four divisional round matchups in the NFL playoffs this weekend. But unfortunately, Mark Zinno's a little upset here on Friday. It is not a TGIF situation. I can't believe I just said that. I'm actually kind of embarrassed. Uh, Mark, your thoughts that you would like to share, things that you would like to get off your
Well,
chest before we
I
start talking about the NFL playoffs.
um, from what I understand, from what you told me, the soccer play. Congratulations, by the way, and everybody who commented on the soccer play. The one guy in the comment section actually made a valid point. He's like, I don't care if the sport sucks. The bet wins just the same. I'm fine with it. It's very good logic. So I can't hate that. And believe it or not, truth to the audience, because I am the official gatekeeper of honesty at Wager Talk. I did actually call you or text you ahead of time saying, "Hey, I'm looking at this English Premier League thing." Because honestly, when I had walked out of the room for the handicap yesterday, like I had no idea what you said. And then after I was reading all the comments, I'm like, maybe I should go back and look at this play and see what everybody's saying this about. So I looked at it, and then I started checking my book and tried to find the lines that you were talking about. I had to text you. I'm like, what does this mean? Why is somebody favored by 1 3/4? What the frick is this? What kind of crap is this?
Well, we can
Uh,
work through it over time.
I don't want to work through it over time. That's
Oh,
exactly the same words my ex-wife said to me. So,
I'm sorry.
nonetheless,
I'm very sorry.
I,
That's
I,
incredible if I use the same words.
well, it would be apropos. I bet I like you about as much as I like her. So there is that. Now, uh, from what I understand, you kind of got a little bit lucky, right? Like they were in the 84th minute. It was still a 1-0 game. I'm sorry, 1-0.
I was going to
One
correct you.
nothing.
Yes, it was 1-0.
1-0.
And if you listen to the breakdown, I said the tough part of getting this home will be Southampton scoring because
They
Southampton,
scored
last
first.
place, they did, but it was an own goal. They got an own goal. They got to give now
Oh,
both
really?
teams.
Hold on a second.
Yes, both teams.
Man, you
Yes, it
kicked
was
the
an own
ball in
goal.
their own net.
Yes. So here's the thing: both teams had opportunities to score early. I was getting nervous. I missed it. Man U had two wide open nets that they missed before the deluge of goals late. Yes, they scored three, not once, not twice, but three times after the 84th minute, including one in stoppage time. So that was a fun way to start Friday, or pardon me, Thursday. Unfortunately, the rest of the day, as far as this show went, was not as good on the college hardwood. I lost my NBA best bet as well. Bad CLV, bad result with the Pistons. Not sure what else. Sometimes when you see the market move against you, Zeno, you're like, what is everyone else seeing? All these people are wrong. I saw the way the market was moving closer to tip off. I started getting a little queasy. Pistons were on the wrong end of a big Pacers run at the end of the first half and never recovered. So that was my Thursday in
Yeah,
a nutshell.
yeah.
I'm looking ahead to the
Uh,
NFL playoffs.
Forget the fact that Nebraska wasn't the right side. Forget the fact that Maryland wasn't the right side, which are terrible calls by me. Um, I handed out to the Wager Talk subscribers Jared Allen over 10.5 rebounds. But for
Nice
those of you,
start.
did anybody actually, hold on. Let me see if
Yeah, we're
anybody
not
actually,
gonna. Oh, we're not gonna go through the
okay.
your wager talking
No,
mid login here. Let's just.
no, no. Relax for a second. Okay. Let me just talk. I'll handle all this. Thank you.
I can't relax. I can't relax.
Yeah. So the short handicap on Jared Allen. Oklahoma City is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Jared Allen, last time out against them, had 12 rebounds in the last matchup. Isaiah Hartenstein was out for Oklahoma City, their best rebounder, leading rebounder in center. And against bottom five rebounding rate teams, Jared Allen averages 11 rebounds per game. Number was set at 10.5. I bet the over. This douche had 6 rebounds in the first quarter. And what did I text you? Tell everybody what I text you.
I was confused by. I don't know if you. Perhaps
I
you
was
should be
not
more
happy.
positive because you were like, I know you were like, oh, I don't like that he has 6 rebounds in the
Nope,
first quarter, and I said,
nope.
why?
Why?
I said you should
Because
be
two
happy.
things. Number one, when you get that close that fast, like all of a sudden you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Okay. Because it never goes that way. You don't get half your friggin' number in the first quarter. and or more than half, and you're like, okay, now it's just going to fall easy. Of course, what happens? The game becomes a blowout. He gets one rebound in the second quarter, even with 7 at half. I need 4 in the entire second half. This lazy MFer quit. Jared Allen quit. And I hope next week when it snows in Cleveland, he gets buried under 6 feet of snow and can't leave his house and runs out of toilet paper. Okay. That's what I hope for
It's
him.
been snowing a lot here.
This
Now that's
dude
so harsh.
quit. I'm
It
telling
was
you,
a bad
there
game.
was a point in the third quarter. Granted, the game was out of hand. It was in the third quarter, early in the third quarter. It's like 10 minutes left. Cleveland's at the free throw line. I forget who's shooting free throws. It was 2 free throws. He makes the first one. And I'm looking at Jared Allen underneath the hoop. The ball leaves the free throw shooter's hands. This dude takes off and runs down the court while the ball is in midair. Midair. Of course, the ball bounces on the rim twice, falls right to where he would have been standing, and this dude is gone. He quit. He didn't even jump for a rebound in the second half and finished with 7 in the game. Played 16 minutes last night. He sucked.
It was a bad night for the Cavs. By the way, I gave out a free
Yeah, it
play
was.
video on the Oklahoma
It
City
was.
Thunder elsewhere on the
My
WagerTalk
favorite
YouTube
part of the
channel.
whole thing
Make
yesterday.
sure you're subscribed to the WagerTalk YouTube channel, everybody.
Yes. My favorite part of yesterday is when I just said to you yesterday morning, we should just take Oklahoma City money line, and that's all I should have done. That's all I should. It's 2 days in a row. I have been overthinking it, trying to get cute, trying to find something that I really, really love when I should have just played. Sometimes, guys, just playing the side is the best way to go when you're not hitting things. When you're not seeing things, just play the damn side. Don't get freaking cute. I've gotten cute the last 2 days, and it's cost me. I'm pissed off.
It's easy for you to overthink with that big brain of yours, Mark Zinno. Let's talk
Oh
about
yeah.
the NFL playoffs, shall we? Should
Oh,
I
by
go
the way,
first? I feel you. I feel you. Do
no,
you need a
no,
breather? Should I do
no,
my half of the double play first,
no.
or would
What
you
is my
like to?
half of the double play? What's my half of the double play
Okay,
again?
I don't know what it is. Very hard to
Here we
produce a
go.
show.
I
I
got
just
it.
like a nice logical show. You have it. Would
I
you
got
like
it.
to go now? Okay,
I'm good to
so
go.
we are going to give
Sit
you
down and shut up.
something.
Here we go.
We're going to cover all 4 games. I'm going to tee you up here. I actually forget what your half of the double play is now because you would say,
Yes.
"Oh
Yeah. Okay.
yes."
I got it. Don't worry about it.
We're actually going to go to the last game of the weekend, the heavyweight battle of the weekend. If you what a game this is going to be, Ravens and Bills. I like both of these teams. Mark, it's a high total, not the highest of the weekend, of course. That distinction belongs to Lions Commanders. You
Mhm.
think though, in this heavyweight battle, might be a slow start, even though we've got the what is widely considered to be the 2 leading MVP candidates at quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, look, the first thing you have to contend with here in this game is the fact that it's going to be bitter freaking cold in Buffalo. Like it has been snowing sideways. It is not good weather at all in this game. So there's a lot for them to contend with from a weather perspective. I mean, you're talking about 18 degrees, wind chills down even lower than that. The wind will be blowing at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. Not exactly ideal circumstances. It's going to take these players a little while to actually get into game condition and warm up. That's number one. Number two, you have a Ravens defense that's allowed just 15 and a half points per game since week 10. Okay. And a Bills team that has transformed their defense since the week 4 loss at the Ravens. They get Matt Milano back, Terrell Bard. They fortified the run defense. This is a defense that is also benefits from the fact that the Bills hold on to the football a long time. And look, I just don't know that this game starts out as fast as we expect it to. It goes back to my old adage, right? If they ain't covering early, if they ain't going over early, they're not going over late, right? I mean, if they can literally weather the cold and the storm in the first half and get to 25, 27, whatever it may be, then yeah, they'll keep that pace up in the second half. But there's probably a more likely game script where, and even at 24 and a half here, 14, 10 and a half still feels pretty high scoring and we stay under. And you could still get over in the second half when the teams pick it up a little bit more as the pace may pick up. But remember, these are kind of teams that Buffalo last week ran the ball heavy. Ravens last week ran the ball heavy, right? They'll rely on that part first early on in the game back and forth. So I think we go under 24 and a half here in the first half.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Bills only had 3 offensive possessions in the entire first half last week against Denver. It was a really low possession number game, if memory serves.
And
I've
and
also
that
you talk
that
about game
also is the
script, Mark.
case. that was also the case just because again, and remember how quick Denver scored. Denver scored in the first 2.5 minutes. And again, the
Yes.
Bills only had 3 possessions in the first half. There were only 7 possessions in the first half.
Well, So,
So
talking about game script, do you see a world? I've listened to people make this case that there's a world where Baltimore's leading at the half, Buffalo comes back in the second half. Because you look at the trends, Baltimore historically with Lamar Jackson has been a phenomenal first half ATS team, whereas Buffalo under Allen, with Allen at the helm, has been a great second half ATS team. Any thought on that, real quick, before we move on?
I mean, again, I say this with my heart. I think you guys all know I'm the world's biggest Josh Allen supporter, so I genuinely want Buffalo to win. I just I keep running in my head the game script where the Ravens get up 14-0, right? And all of a sudden the Bills are playing catch up the whole way, or vice versa. The Bills go up, 10-0, 14-3, whatever it may be, and the Ravens are playing catch up the whole way. Like one of these teams I think is going to own the pace early and get the other team off their rocker, and that's going to be a bad game script. So,
Okay.
are the Bills? If you ask me which team is better at coming back from a hole, it's Buffalo. It's definitely Buffalo. Like if you
And
the
as you
quarterback who's more likely to throw you back into the game with success is Josh Allen, not Lamar Jackson.
As you mentioned very eloquently in your breakdown, Baltimore's defense has gotten a lot better since they shifted where they're putting Kyle Hamilton on the field since week 10, week 11. They went from one of the worst pass defenses in the league to one of the best. So there you go. Mark Zinno, he likes the first half under in Baltimore Buffalo. Smash that like button if you agree. I'm going to make mine real short and sweet. I'm going to talk about the first game of the divisional round of the playoffs. I think I've said wild card a few times. Oops. But it is the divisional round of the playoffs, of course. Houston, Kansas City is getting us started. Houston has never advanced past the divisional round of the playoffs in team history. Mark Zinno, the Kansas City Chiefs are, of course, the two-time Super Bowl defending champions and looking to be the first team in history to three-peat. Now, Kansas City does not win by margin very often. We were talking before the show. I think you said they have not covered a single spread of 6 or more the entire season. They have only 5 wins all season by more than what the odds makers have them favored in this game. I think Kansas City is a somewhat logical teaser piece. I think a lot of people are going to do that. That's how they're going to start their NFL weekend handicapping. But I'm going to look at a player prop here. I'm going to look at the Houston tight end, Dalton Schultz, to go over 39 and a half yards receiving. And I'm going to start this breakdown in very contradictory fashion, Mark Zinno. I'm going to say that I think Houston may have some trouble moving the ball in this game. Why do I think that? Kansas City's secondary is now healthier than it has been. The Houston receiver room, if you look at the wide receivers, banged up, as we know. I think a lot of the Texans, the points they put on the board that was misleading last week against the Chargers, Justin Herbert started gifting them some points with interceptions. However, for Houston to have a chance here, any chance, who is CJ Stroud, second year quarterback, going to look to? How about his tight end, Dalton Schultz? And I'm looking at Dalton Schultz's season right in front of me, Mark Zinno.
Mm-hmm.
Had a season high, tied his season high in both receptions and targets. 5 receptions, 8 targets when the Texans played the Chiefs on December 21st. Had 45 yards receiving in that game. So that would be enough to go over this number, obviously. And he even had one of his 2 touchdowns on the year. So it was one of Schultz's better games. I think Stroud is going to have to look for him. Kansas City's going to be coming after him. Uh, a lot of people like his receptions number, which is set at 3.5. That is juiced through the roof right now at minus 170. So I think looking at the yardage is now the way to go. That's taking some money as well, but Dalton Schultz over 39 and a half yards receiving. My half of the double play. That's how you're going to get started on the divisional round of the NFL playoffs.
Before we get to our show best bet, I told everybody this earlier in the week, so I want to be a man of my word. Remember, I told you earlier in the week
Bizarre.
that I had a player prop for the game. I locked it in as a say it with me, Brian. Client play.
Lions
Uh,
play.
anyway, and the number moves so fast And I'm going to give it out, but I'm going to give it out for free because right now the number is unbettable, in my opinion, just because you've gotten so far away from what the original number is. So Isaiah Pacheco, I have him at over 35 and a half rushing yards, is what I got it at. And I think, let me tell you the exact time I locked in here on this thing. That was the 14th. What's today? 17th. So it's 3 days ago. It was on
17.
Tuesday.
Mhm.
I'm seeing this number as high as 46 right now in other places. I'm looking on FanDuel right now. It has that at 41 and a half, which is not bad, from 35. Like, I can endorse something around 41 and a half, given where he is. I know a bunch of people who have, what's the term again? We talked about
Oh, they're
laddering.
laddering it. They're
I don't know what the
laddering.
hell that
They're
means.
laddering.
I,
They're
I don't know what
laddering.
that means. Is it like a waterfall but different?
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Just
Something like
stick
that.
to the
Anyway,
rivers and the
so
whatever that you're used to.
this will be in my package, my NFL package for the weekend, um, that I have as far as wild card weekend is concerned. That said, again, I just, with the number moving this much, depending on where else you look, um, it's tough for me to sell it to you guys. Like, it's just it's it's hard for me to believe that there's a world where it's fair for me to give it out to you guys, and make you pay for it
As
when
a,
the
yeah.
numbers move this much.
Tell you what, Mark
That's just
Zinno,
kind of the way
what a man, what an honorable individual. And yes,
I would.
numbers matter, right? I mean, the numbers moved a lot,
They
so
do.
numbers matter. You got locked in at a good
I
number.
mean,
You
my
mentioned Mark.
my offshore book that I use has that at 45 and a half right now at minus 114. That's 10 yards difference. I mean,
Yeah, that's a big difference.
it might not make a difference.
That's
I've heard people say I'd play it up to 50, and I think
yep,
they're right.
me too.
But it's not fair. It's not a fair endorsement for me to give that to you guys at that number when I got a number that was so early in the week before everybody jumped on it that I just got ahead of the market. So Isaiah Pacheco over rushing yards, proceed with caution.
Now, Mark, watch this. Watch what I'm about to do here. You
Mhm.
mentioned that you locked that play in 3 days ago. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, right now at wagertalk.com, we are running a great special where if you buy the next 3 days from your favorite handicapper, we will add an additional day of service
Yahoo.
at no cost. That's 4 days. And if you buy today, Mark, what a time. Today is the day to buy, in my opinion, guys, because you'll be covered for the entire divisional round of the NFL playoffs and and Monday's national championship game in college football between Ohio State and Notre Dame, which of course Mark and I will have a lot to say on Monday's edition of the Morning Wager. So
I will tell
comment
everybody else,
down.
because I've been so bad as of late. I'll tell everybody else, I fully endorse a cross sport tease this weekend between the NFL and the national championship game on Monday, taking Ohio State down under a field goal.
Again, we'll talk more about it, buddy. I think either Ohio State
But
wins
we
by
can't talk about it
100
on Monday
or
because the
Notre
NFL
Dame
would
wins
have passed
outright.
by then. If I don't tell them about it now, they won't have a chance to tease the NFL because it will have
That's a good
passed.
point. Yes, and I
Yeah,
think
it's
there's a
very good
lot
point.
of all right. Listen to this. And there's a lot of great teaser options, obviously, this week in
There
the
are.
NFL.
And remember,
And
remember,
wouldn't you
remember
know,
the
wouldn't
golden rule. Yes, what? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, it just so happens that our show best bet today is a teaser.
It is. But I will remember this. The golden rule of the morning wager. Tell Stanford Wong to stick it straight up his ass. Okay? I don't care what his rules are. You do what you want with your own money. Okay? I 100% agree there are better numbers to tease through and better numbers to get because numbers matter, as we just said before, right? Like, I'm not teasing 17 down to 11. That's stupid. Okay. But that said, do what you want with your own money. And if you'd like to cross sport tease between college and the NFL, go ahead and go for it. I support it. I get 8.5 with Ohio State down to 2.5. There's plenty of other teaser options on the board that you can pick with the NFL. Go do it. Stanford
Love
Wong,
for you to meet Stanford Wong.
you suck.
That's what I want to see.
You know what I would
That's
tell
something
him? You
I
don't
would
get to
like
make the
to.
rules.
I would like to
You
introduce
get to make
you
the
to
rules.
Stanford Wong. He's
Nice
an
to meet you, sir.
82-year-old man, by the way.
Smart rules when it was 1975. When it was 1985. Guess what? It's 2025. Okay. Rules have passed you by.
Believe the way you're just
Do what you want with your own
assaulting
money.
verbally Stanford Wong. That is true.
Do
Yeah,
what you want.
and Lord knows I've done it. Lord knows for 44
Yeah.
years I have done what I've wanted with my own money, and we're not
I've
going to
done a
get
lot
into
of
that
dumb
right
things with
now.
my money,
But
like betting on
yeah,
Nebraska
something that
last night. That was a dumb thing to do with
okay,
my money.
that was well done actually by you. I know it brought up some bad memories, but that was well done
Yeah.
by you.
You know what else was a bad
All right,
idea last night? Betting on Jared Allen, 10.5 rebounds. Also a bad thing
okay,
to
all
do with
right,
my money.
okay, all right, okay, all right.
Is he
Let's talk
snowed
about
in
this
yet?
teaser. I don't think it's not snowing as much today. It
Are
was
his
snowing
tires?
yesterday,
I
but
hope his tires are flat. I hope his tires are flat when he gets to his car in the morning. That's what I hope. All four of them.
that's just
All
rude.
four of them. I want
Okay,
all four of his tires flat. You know what it is? I say that a lot about people, and when I lose bets, I feel like that's enough annoyance, but it's not bad karma, right? Like that's something you can wish on somebody that sucks, but it's not really all that Like that's not enough karma to come back to me. Oh, so what? I got a flat tire. I don't mind changing a flat tire. I don't care. So if a flat tire comes back to me, I'm fine. I enjoy changing
What about the
tires.
did I ever tell you about the time I paid somebody $50 to change my tire?
No.
True story. It's like 20 years ago. I got a flat. I was like, I like go to the gas station. I was like, man, I think my tire's flat. He's like, oh, it's not hard. You just take it off. This. I'm like, yeah, man, not really in my job description. Can I give you $50 and you just do it for me? He did. It was nice.
You want to hear instant karma? Here's another weird story. I don't know why we're telling these because no one's here to supervise us. But so this is instant karma. I'll never forget this. When we were younger, my brother and I and my cousin Steven slept over at our house, and it was a Saturday into a Sunday. And my parents were adamant about going to church on Sunday morning. My brother like hated going to church. I didn't mind, but he hated going to church. My mother drags him out of bed, right? And he's getting dressed and he's so pissed off. And he screams out loud because he has to go to church. I hope the dog takes a on the rug, right? No kidding. No kidding. Within 10 minutes, my old man screams, Donna, the dog just took a on the rug. I died laughing. It was the funniest damn thing in the world. It was instant karma because they made my brother go to church.
Unbelievable. Okay. Well, you know who I hope does not take a on a rug? That would
Yeah.
be the Eagles and the
Yes.
Lions, who we are going to put together as our show best bet as a two-team 6-point teaser. Not a long teaser, I may add, because
Good.
we're teasing the Eagles from 6 down to a pick 'em. We
That's
are
fine.
teasing the Lions from 8.5 down to 2.5. This is available at DraftKings. It'll be minus 120. That's a very popular sports book, I understand. So, Mark, let's talk about the Detroit Washington game real quick. Very high
Mhm.
total, obviously. Uh, I think this is the most Detroit has ever been favored by over a team with a winning record in their franchise history or something like that. I was reading. Nevertheless, they're
Mhm.
off the bye. Washington, 6 straight close wins, I think by a total of 15 points. The last 5 have all been decided on the final play from scrimmage. Now, they again, Stanford Wog will tell you, well, games with high totals, you don't want to tease those. I think there could be some crazy fourth down, 2-point conversion variance in this game with Campbell and
Mhm.
Quinn. But Lions, we feel comfortable teasing them under a field goal at home. They're tremendous. Well, both their losses were actually at home, but still. And then Philadelphia, again, I know the Rams dominated against the Vikings. Okay. That was a case of Sam Darnold turning into a pumpkin. I still have my
Mhm.
doubts about the LA Rams. I do not see them going into Philadelphia and beating this Eagles team. The Eagles dominated them in the regular season 37-20. They ran for 300 yards, over 300 yards in that
Yeah.
matchup. So, what we're telling you folks, Lions, Eagles, that's going to be the NFC Championship game. Is there anything else you would like to add, sir?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this routinely. I think the gap between the Eagles and the Rams is wider than the gap between the Eagles and the Packers. I think you also get another week of Jalen Hurts post concussion. He was off last week, no doubt about it. He was not good. Okay, and the Packers probably beat themselves more than the Eagles necessarily beat them, but still, um, all this gets another week back, and the Rams going out on the road. Look, everything I think about the Rams is wrong, but I feel confident enough for the Eagles to win this game. And we get it where it only needs to be a win by one because we're down to a pick 'em. Stanford Wong, bite me. Okay. That's good enough for me. All right. For me to take the Eagles just to win this game outright. Basically, you're getting them at a minus 280 price on the money line here in the tees. So I think we're in a good spot here at Philadelphia.
That is going to do it for your divisional round edition of the Morning Wager. Please, if you already have not done so, smash that like button. We always appreciate your support. Comment down below. What is your favorite bet for this weekend? We'd like to see that. Head on over to WT.buzz/MZ, WT.buzz/BP. Again, that 3-day special. If you buy a 3-day all access, we're going to give you an extra day of service free of charge. So that's 4 days for the price of 3. Great deal there to take advantage. I will have not only NFL playoff picks, but college basketball and soccer, Mark Zinno, all weekend
People
long.
love
So
it.
head on over to my page. Yes, they love soccer. It's a great sport. Over
Yeah.
early. It's a good way to start. It's a great way to start your day, or it can be a terrible way to start your day, depending on the result.
And again, I didn't have the both teams to score prop available to me, and I asked you about the over, and then you explained to me the crazy way that it did go over. Because of stoppage time. Stoppage
I miss
time.
stoppage time. I used to be on stoppage time here on the
Didn't
WagerTalk
it used to
YouTube
be
channel.
called extra time, or was it always
No,
stoppage time?
that's different. Extra time and stoppage time are not the same thing. I don't want to get into that with you now. We've gone long.
You're
All
kidding.
right, he's Mark Zinno.
Wait a second,
I'm
you're
Bryan
kidding.
Power. No,
You're
it's different
kidding.
things. Until next time, everybody, we are well into stoppage time here on the show. Have a great weekend. Let's catch the